Most people wake up to an alarm, they hit snooze, pull the blanket back over their heads, and drift off again, not because they are tired, but because they have no reason strong enough to rise. You see, when you wake up only because your phone told you to, your day starts with resistance. You wake up with irritation, not inspiration. But when you wake up because your purpose calls you, something powerful shifts inside you. Suddenly, the sound of the alarm is not a disturbance, it becomes a reminder. A reminder that you have something meaningful to live for today. Purpose is far more powerful than an alarm clock. An alarm clock can wake up your body, but only a purpose can wake up your soul. You can train yourself to open your eyes early, but you can only train your mind to stay awake when you know why you're doing it. Many people say, "I'm not a morning person." I say, "You're not a purpose person yet." Because when your purpose becomes strong, your energy becomes unstoppable. When you truly care about what you're doing, 4 a.m. doesn't feel early anymore. It feels sacred. Think about the moments in your life when you didn't need an alarm. Maybe it was a trip you were excited for. Maybe it was the first day of a new job or your wedding day. You woke up even before the alarm rang. Why? Because there was excitement. Because there was a reason. Because the why was strong enough to pull you out of bed. That same energy can exist every day if you learn to connect your mornings with your mission. Let me tell you something beautiful. Waking up at 4 a.m. is not about being extreme, it's about being intentional. It's not about showing the world that you're disciplined. It's about showing yourself that you care. When you start your day with a purpose, you carry a sense of direction before distractions take over. The world at that hour is still and silent, and that silence has a voice. It speaks truth. It whispers your dreams back to you. It reminds you of who you can become if you stay consistent. But you can only hear that whisper if you're awake to listen. When you wake up with purpose, your mornings become sacred meetings between you and your future. That first hour isn't for checking messages or chasing deadlines. It's for aligning yourself with your deepest intentions. Maybe you write down your goals, maybe you meditate, maybe you pray, or just sit quietly with your thoughts. Whatever you do, make it conscious. The most successful people in the world don't wake up early because they have to. They wake up early because they want to. They have discovered the joy of meeting themselves before the world interrupts. There's a story of a monk who was once asked why he wakes up at 4 a.m. every day. He smiled and said, "Because that's when God listens." Now, whether you believe in God, the universe, or simply the power of your own mind, the message is clear. There's something divine about starting early. The stillness of that time connects you to something higher. You begin your day not in a rush, but in reverence. You don't run into your day, you rise into it. Most people live in reaction. The alarm rings and they react. The phone buzzes and they react. The world demands and they react. But a 4 a.m. mindset turns you into a creator. You design your day before the world designs it for you. You respond with calmness instead of reacting with chaos. And this all begins when you wake up not to the sound of an alarm, but to the call of your purpose. Now, how do you find that purpose? Start small. Don't wait for some grand revelation. Purpose doesn't always roar. Sometimes It whispers. It might be something simple, wanting to become a better version of yourself, to build consistency, to take care of your body, to write, to learn, to serve others, to grow spiritually. Whatever it is, anchor your mornings to that purpose. Write it down. Read it every night before you sleep, so that when you open your eyes at 4 a.m., your first thought isn't, I have to get up, but I get to get up. Purpose transforms effort into energy. Without it, everything feels like a burden. With it, everything feels like a blessing. That's why people who chase comfort struggle to wake up, but people who chase growth can't wait to start. When you see your mornings as opportunities instead of obligations, you no longer need motivation. You have meaning. There will be days when your body resists, when your mind says, just 5 more minutes. But remember, those 5 minutes of sleep can never give you the satisfaction that 5 minutes of progress can. Each time you wake up for your purpose, you strengthen your willpower. You teach your mind that your goals are more important than your excuses. That small victory every morning creates momentum, confidence, and clarity. The 4 a.m. mindset isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Some days you'll wake up late, and that's okay. Don't feel guilty. Feel grateful that you still have the next morning to try again. The goal isn't to become a machine that wakes up at a specific time. It's to become a human being who wakes up with meaning. The clock doesn't define your discipline, your intention does. So the next time you set your alarm, don't just set it for 4 a.m., set it for your future. Set it for your dream. Set it for the person you promised yourself you'd become. When the alarm rings, don't ask, do I feel like waking up? Ask, do I feel like growing? And when you wake up, don't rush. Pause, breathe, smile. Remind yourself, I'm not waking up early to impress anyone. I'm waking up early to express my purpose. Because the truth is, when you wake up with purpose, you don't just start your day early, you start your life early. Every sunrise becomes a new beginning. Every morning a fresh chance to align with what truly matters. The alarm clock might ring for a few seconds, but your purpose, that will echo all day long. Success at 4 a.m. doesn't begin when the alarm rings, it begins the night before. What most people forget is that early rising is not just about discipline. It's about preparation. You cannot expect your body to jump out of bed with energy if your mind went to sleep in chaos. You can't expect your spirit to feel light if you went to bed burdened with thoughts of stress, unfinished work, or endless scrolling through your phone. The morning truly begins at night, and how you end your day decides how you will begin the next one. If you want your 4 a.m. to be peaceful, you must make your 10 p.m. purposeful. Think of your night as the foundation of a building. No one ever sees the foundation, yet everything stands upon it. When you prepare well the night before, you wake up not to confusion, but to clarity. And clarity, my friends, is the real fuel of productivity. Most people underestimate the power of their evenings. They believe they can live recklessly until midnight, binge watch shows, eat heavily, scroll endlessly, and then expect to rise at 4 a.m. with joy and energy. It doesn't work that way. The mind is like a garden. If you plant weeds before you sleep, you will wake up to a messy mind. But if you plant peace, reflection, and gratitude, you will wake up refreshed and inspired. So, how do we prepare the night before? Start with a simple rule: close your day consciously. Before sleeping, reflect on what went well. Don't carry your failures into the next day. Learn from them and leave them there. Write down 3 things you are grateful for. Gratitude resets your mind to peace. Then, make a short note of your intentions for tomorrow. It doesn't need to be a long to-do list. Even a few clear words like health, focus, calmness can align your energy for the next day. When you do this, your subconscious mind works while you sleep. It processes solutions, creates ideas, and strengthens your willpower. So when you wake up, it feels as if your spirit is already ahead of time. You don't waste energy deciding what to do, you simply begin. Preparation gives you direction, and direction removes distraction. One of the greatest mistakes people make is going to bed with their phones. The last thing they see is not their dreams, but other people's lives. They scroll, they compare, they get lost in digital noise. The light from the screen may fade, but the noise continues in the mind. That's why when they wake up, their mind feels heavy before the day has even started. So make this a personal rule. Disconnect before you sleep. Replace the glow of your phone with the calm of reflection or prayer. Replace social media with soulful media, something that uplifts your heart. Your body also needs your cooperation. Don't eat heavy meals just before you lie down. Give your body the rest it deserves. When the body is at peace, the mind follows. Try to go to bed at a fixed time each night. Routine builds rhythm, and rhythm creates balance. Many people think success comes from grand efforts, but it's actually built from simple routines done consistently. Sleeping on time may sound small, but it's the root of your energy, focus, and peace. Think of your night as an act of respect to your morning. You can't expect clarity when you start your day in disorder. Prepare your clothes, your journal, your water, even your space before you sleep. When you wake up, everything should be ready, waiting for you like an old friend. There's a deep peace that comes from knowing you've already taken care of tomorrow's first steps. This reduces friction, removes hesitation, and allows your morning energy to flow naturally. You'll also find that when you end your day peacefully, you wake up with gentleness. There's no rush, no stress, no pressure. You rise slowly, but with purpose. And that feeling of having already created space for peace is priceless. The mind that ends the day well begins the next one stronger. Remember, the night before is not the time to overthink. It's the time to unwind. You've done your best for the day. Now it's time to hand over your worries to rest, to trust that tomorrow is another chance to do better. Too many people lose sleep because they try to solve everything before they sleep. The truth is, rest itself is part of the solution. A rested mind sees clearly what a restless one cannot. There's also a deeper meaning behind preparing the night before. It's an act of self-respect. When you plan ahead, you're telling yourself, I care about my tomorrow. You're investing in your own peace. You're choosing discipline over chaos. You're declaring that your dreams deserve order, not excuses. That mindset builds confidence. Every small act of preparation is a message to your subconscious. I am serious about my growth. Sometimes, the most powerful transformation doesn't happen when you're awake. It happens when you sleep peacefully after a day of conscious effort. The calm you create at night becomes the strength you carry in the morning. So make your evenings sacred. Dim the lights, calm the mind, and spend a few minutes with your thoughts. Ask yourself, did I live with intention today? And what can I improve tomorrow? These questions are like gentle mirrors. They help you see yourself without judgment. The secret to a 4 a.m. mindset is not just about waking up early, it's about sleeping with awareness. You can't conquer the morning if the night conquers you. You can't rise at dawn if your spirit is restless at dusk. So, take charge of your evenings, turn off the noise, turn inward, and remind yourself that each night is not an ending, it's the preparation for a new beginning. When you make your nights peaceful, your mornings become powerful. When you plan your day before sleeping, you wake up with confidence. When you release the stress of today, you make space for the possibilities of tomorrow. This is how you transform an ordinary night into a foundation for extraordinary mornings. So, tonight, before you sleep, don't just lie down, align yourself. Don't just close your eyes, close your distractions. Don't just rest your body, reset your soul, because when you prepare the night before, you are not just preparing to wake up, you are preparing to rise. The way you start your morning shapes the way you live your entire day. Yet for most people, the very first thing they feed their mind is not peace, but pressure. Before their eyes are even fully open, their thumbs are already scrolling. The soft light of dawn is replaced by the harsh glow of notifications, messages, news, social media, emails, all competing for their attention before they've even had a moment to connect with themselves. That is why one of the most important principles of the 4 a.m. mindset is this: feed your mind, not your phone. The first hour of your morning must belong to you, not to the world. When you reach for your phone immediately after waking up, you are not just checking information, you are surrendering your peace. You are giving permission for the outside world to dictate your first thoughts, your first emotions, and your first energy of the day. Imagine waking up with calmness in your heart and then suddenly flooding your mind with chaos from the outside world. That's like watering your garden with polluted water. You may think you're nurturing something, but you're slowly damaging it. The truth is, your mind is most powerful in the first moments after waking. It's fresh, open, and receptive. The thoughts you entertain at that time sink deep into your subconscious, influencing how you think, feel, and act for the rest of the day. If your first input is stress, comparison, or negativity, you carry that vibration with you. But if your first input is peace, gratitude, and purpose, your day begins with strength. The mind is like a sponge. It absorbs whatever you place before it. So the question is, what are you soaking in every morning? Most people underestimate how fragile those early moments are. They say, it's just a habit, or I'm just checking messages. But in reality, that small act of grabbing the phone immediately pulls your mind into reaction mode. You start responding instead of reflecting. You start comparing instead of creating. You begin your day by consuming instead of cultivating. And once that cycle begins, it's hard to stop. You become reactive to everything that follows. When you wake up, your first responsibility is to your own peace. The world can wait. The emails can wait. The notifications can wait. but your inner balance cannot. The first 30 minutes after waking up are sacred. They are your time to align your mind, body, and soul before facing the noise of the world. Protect this time like you would protect your most valuable possession, because it truly is. So, what do you feed your mind instead of your phone? Start by feeding it silence. Sit in stillness. Breathe. Feel the rhythm of your own heartbeat. You'll notice that peace is not something you have to create. It's already there, waiting under the surface of all the noise. Then feed your mind positivity. Read a few lines from a book that uplifts you. Listen to something that inspires reflection, not distraction. Write down your thoughts, even if it's just a sentence or two, about how you want your day to feel. These simple acts ground you. They connect you to your higher self. You can also use this time to meditate or pray. The early hours of the morning have a certain magic, an energy that connects deeply to your spirit. When the world is quiet, your inner voice becomes clearer. Prayer doesn't always have to be formal. It can simply be gratitude expressed silently. Thank you for another day, for another chance, for another sunrise. Gratitude opens the heart and resets the mind. It shifts your attention from what's missing to what's meaningful. Another beautiful way to feed your mind is journaling. Write down what you want to accomplish, how you want to feel, or even something you're struggling with. When you write, you release. You take thoughts that are floating in your head and give them a place to rest. This simple act of putting pen to paper brings clarity and focus. It turns confusion into understanding. If you still find yourself tempted to check your phone, remind yourself that the world will not fall apart in 30 minutes. In fact, it will feel lighter when you finally do open your phone, because you will have already centered yourself. You won't be pulled into other people's chaos. Instead, you'll respond from a place of calmness. When you start from peace, even problems feel manageable. There's something deeply empowering about choosing yourself first every morning. When you say, "No, I won't check my phone right now," you're not just resisting technology, you're reclaiming your attention. You're telling your mind, "I'm in control of where my focus goes." And that, my friends, is real power. Your attention is your most valuable currency. Spend it wisely. People often ask, "What if my phone is my alarm?" That's fine. Use it as an alarm, but not as a distraction. The moment you turn it off, place it aside. Don't unlock it. Don't open any app. Stand up, stretch, drink water, breathe, and then spend time in silence or reflection. Once you've completed your morning routine, you can reconnect with the world. By then, your mind will be calm, your energy grounded, and your heart ready to handle whatever comes your way. Remember, every morning is a new beginning, a fresh start gifted to you by life itself. Don't waste it on digital noise. Begin it with intention. The way you feed your mind in the first hour determines the way your mind feeds you throughout the day. If you give it junk, it gives you confusion. If you give it calm, it gives you clarity. Try this tomorrow morning. When you wake up, don't touch your phone. Instead, place your hand on your heart and take 5 slow breaths. Feel the life flowing through you. Whisper something positive to yourself. Something as simple as, "Today, I choose peace," or "I am grateful for another chance." Then move gently into reading, writing, or prayer, notice how different your energy feels. Notice how your mind feels lighter, sharper, and calmer. The first hour of the day is not a time to consume, it's a time to create. Create thoughts of gratitude. Create an atmosphere of peace. Create a mindset that can face the day with strength. When you feed your mind before your phone, you are setting the tone for everything that follows. You are telling the universe, I choose to live consciously. And that choice, repeated every morning, transforms everything. It changes the way you think, the way you react, and the way you live. It's not about rejecting technology. It's about remembering that the most important connection you can ever make is the one with yourself. So feed your mind peace before you feed it pixels. Because when you start your day with silence, intention, and gratitude, no amount of noise can disturb the calm within you. The body and the soul are two sides of the same coin. You cannot expect one to be alive if the other is neglected. Every morning, before you fill your mind with thoughts or your schedule with plans, you must first awaken your body. Movement is the bridge between sleep and consciousness. It is how you tell your entire being, I am alive, I am ready, I am grateful. The 4 a.m. mindset is not complete without the energy that comes from physical movement. When you move your body, you energize your mind. When your mind is awake, your spirit follows. Think of your body as the vehicle that carries your dreams. No matter how strong your purpose or how clear your goals are, if your body is tired, heavy, or neglected, it will slow your journey. The body is the instrument through which your intentions are expressed. That's why those who cultivate the 4 a.m. mindset do not just wake up early, they awaken fully. They stretch, breathe, and move with awareness. They don't rush into activity. They rise with respect for the gift of health and vitality that allows them to pursue their mission. When the world is asleep and the air is cool, that stillness carries a sacred energy. Every breath feels purer. Every movement feels lighter. The body loves rhythm, and the early morning gives it a rhythm of calm. You don't need a gym or fancy equipment. You just need presence. Start by sitting quietly and taking deep breaths. Feel the air fill your lungs, expand your chest, and energize your cells. Breathing deeply is not just physical, it's spiritual. With each inhale, you draw in life. With each exhale, you release yesterday's fatigue. Then move. Stretch your arms, roll your shoulders, bend gently, touch the earth. Feel the connection between your body and the world around you. If you walk, walk consciously. Listen to the sound of your feet touching the ground, the rhythm of your heartbeat, the music of the morning birds. Each step is a reminder that you are blessed to be alive. Every drop of sweat is a celebration of life flowing through you. Physical movement is not just about fitness, it's about focus. When you exercise, your blood starts to flow faster, sending oxygen to your brain. Your thoughts become clearer, your emotions calmer. It's as if your body is saying, "No, we're ready to think, to plan, to act." The ancient philosophers and monks all understood this truth. Movement brings mental clarity. They walked before they meditated. They breathed before they spoke. They moved before they created. In those simple actions, they discovered energy, balance, and peace. Modern life has trapped us in stillness. We sit for hours, our bodies rigid, our minds restless. The more still we become physically, the more stagnant we become mentally. That's why so many people wake up feeling tired even after sleeping for hours, because their bodies have forgotten how to awaken properly. The first 15 to 20 minutes after you wake up are your body's opportunity to reawaken its intelligence. When you stretch, your blood starts flowing. When you breathe deeply, your cells get oxygen. When you move, your brain releases endorphins, the natural hormones of happiness. That is why after exercise, you feel lighter, more hopeful, more alive. You don't have to run miles or lift weights to awaken your energy. A simple practice of yoga, stretching, or even mindful walking can work wonders. The goal is not exhaustion, but activation. You're not trying to break your body, you're trying to awaken it. You're reminding it that life is movement and that energy flows where attention goes. As you move, bring awareness to your body. Feel gratitude for your legs that carry you, your lungs that breathe for you, your heart that beats for you without ever taking a break. We often take these miracles for granted, but when you start your day with movement, you reconnect with the miracle of being alive. There's also something deeply spiritual about moving before sunrise. The world is quiet, and your movement feels like a form of prayer. Each breath becomes a thank you. Each stretch becomes an act of humility. You're not just exercising, you're aligning your energy with the rhythm of life. It's a dialogue between you and the universe. I am ready for this day. I am here to grow. I am here to give my best. When you move your body early in the morning, you also build discipline. It teaches your mind to do what's necessary, not just what's easy. There will be days when your body resists, when your bed feels more comforting than the mat or the floor. But those are the days when moving matters the most. Each time you rise despite resistance, you strengthen your character. You tell your mind, I am in control, not my comfort. Over time, that inner strength becomes part of who you are, not just in your workouts, but in your work, your relationships, and your goals. You'll notice how this simple habit changes everything. Your focus sharpens, your energy lasts longer, your mood lifts naturally, your body becomes lighter, your mind clearer, and your heart more peaceful. You begin to carry yourself differently, more upright, more confident, more alive. You realize that energy is not something you chase, it's something you create through movement. Think of how nature moves each morning. The sun rises slowly but steadily. The flowers open their petals one by one. The wind begins to stir the trees. Everything in nature stretches into life, and so should you. You are part of that same rhythm. When you move in the morning, you are in harmony with creation itself. The universe rewards movement. It favors those who act. Energy, like water, stagnates when still but flows beautifully when in motion. Movement also has the power to heal. Many emotional blocks are stored in the body. When you move consciously, you release tension not only from muscles, but also from the mind. You'll find that problems that seem heavy the night before feel lighter after a morning walk or stretch. That's because movement clears not just physical energy, but emotional energy too. So, when the alarm rings at 4 a.m., don't just open your eyes, open your body. Don't just get out of bed, rise into awareness. Let your first act of the day be gratitude, expressed through motion. Let every breath remind you that life is flowing, that you are capable, and that this body is your sacred tool to serve your purpose. And remember, this isn't about perfection. Some mornings your body will move slowly, other mornings it will feel unstoppable. Both are fine. What matters is that you show up, because every time you move with intention, you awaken more than just your muscles. You awaken your potential. You begin to feel the deep connection between your body, your mind, and your purpose. When your body moves, your mind improves. When your body is still, your energy stands still. So move not just to stay fit, but to stay alive, to stay connected, to stay awake. Because the moment you move, life moves with you. The 4 a.m. mindset is not only about rising early or moving your body, it's about rising inwardly, awakening your consciousness to a higher level of awareness. Reflection and visualization are the inner practices that turn simple mornings into sacred beginnings. They transform routine into purpose and activity into alignment. When the world is still and quiet, your mind becomes the canvas upon which you can paint the life you want to live. That is why reflection and visualization are at the heart of the 4 a.m. mindset. They are how you meet your higher self before the world meets you. Most people wake up and immediately start thinking about what they have to do. They rush into checklists, schedules, and tasks. But before doing comes being. You are not what you do, you are what you become through what you do. That's why this early hour must begin not with questions like, what's next? But, who am I becoming? When you shift your focus from action to awareness, your actions gain depth and direction. The 4 a.m. hour is not the time to chase, it's the time to connect. Reflection is the act of sitting with your thoughts, your feelings, and your truth. It's like looking into the mirror of your soul. In that quiet space, you review your life not with judgment, but with gentleness. Ask yourself, what did I learn yesterday? What can I do better today? Am I living in alignment with my values? Or am I being pulled by distractions? This kind of reflection refines your mind. It polishes the rough edges of your behavior and strengthens your awareness. Every great leader, philosopher, and spiritual teacher throughout history has practiced reflection in some form. They all understood that without self-awareness, action becomes blind. When you take even 10 minutes each morning to reflect, you become your own guide. You begin to notice patterns. What inspires you? What drains you? What gives meaning to your life? You start to see not only what you're doing wrong, but also what you're doing right. Reflection doesn't just correct, it connects. It connects you to your deeper purpose and to the reason you chose this path in the first place. Visualization is the next step. After you've reflected, after you've become aware, you must direct your awareness toward creation. The mind is a powerful tool. It cannot distinguish between something vividly imagined and something physically experienced. When you visualize with intensity, you begin to train your mind and emotions to align with the life you wish to build. You become the architect of your future. At 4 a.m., your subconscious mind is open and receptive. Whatever images, emotions, and intentions you place in it will echo throughout the day. So sit in stillness and picture your ideal self. See yourself acting with confidence, calmness, and compassion. See yourself achieving your goals not with tension, but with grace. Feel the emotions as if they are already real. The power of visualization lies not in fantasy, but in feeling. When you feel something deeply, your body, mind, and energy begin to act in alignment with that reality. Many people spend their mornings worrying about problems that haven't even happened yet. They visualize failure without realizing it. They imagine being tired, being rushed, being stressed, and then they experience exactly that. Your mind is always visualizing something. The question is whether you're doing it consciously or unconsciously. So instead of letting fear design your day, use your imagination to design your destiny. Visualization also builds belief. When you see yourself succeeding every day, when you repeatedly imagine yourself overcoming challenges, you start to believe it's possible. The mind begins to say, yes, I can, and belief is the seed of every achievement. What begins as a mental picture becomes a physical reality when nourished with action and consistency. Reflection and visualization together create balance. Reflection grounds you in truth. Visualization lifts you into possibility. One connects you to where you are, the other pulls you toward where you want to be. Without reflection, you risk becoming lost in ambition. Without visualization, you risk becoming stuck in repetition. But when both work together, they create a rhythm, a dance between acceptance and aspiration. The 4 a.m. hour is the perfect time for this inner work because the world is silent. That silence is sacred. It allows you to hear the whispers of your intuition, which are often drowned out by the noise of the day. During reflection, those whispers reveal what your soul truly desires. During visualization, those same whispers become guiding voices saying, "This is the path." You begin to live with intention rather than impulse. When you start your morning this way, the rest of your day flows differently. You stop reacting to life and start responding with awareness. You stop chasing success and start attracting it. You stop living by default and start living by design. Even your challenges begin to feel purposeful because you know they are part of the bigger picture you have envisioned. Try this simple exercise after waking up. Sit quietly with your eyes closed. Take a few slow breaths. Ask yourself 3 questions. What am I grateful for right now? What do I want to create today? Who do I choose to be? Don't force the answers, let them arise naturally. Then spend a few minutes imagining your day unfolding perfectly. See yourself handling every situation with peace and strength. Feel the satisfaction of completing your goals. Let your heart smile as you picture yourself serving, growing, and learning. When you open your eyes, you'll notice something remarkable. You'll feel lighter, calmer, and clearer. The day ahead will no longer feel like a burden. It will feel like a canvas. You'll move through the world with intention rather than impulse. You'll face challenges with composure because you've already lived your best version in your mind. That's the magic of beginning your morning with reflection and visualization. You see, the outer world is nothing but a reflection of the inner one. If your mind is scattered, your day will feel chaotic. If your mind is centered, your day will feel harmonious. When you spend time each morning in reflection, you cleanse your inner world. When you visualize, you paint it with purpose. You start to see that your mornings are not just the start of the day, they are the seed of your destiny. Every sunrise brings an invitation to meet yourself again, to forgive what's behind, to focus on what's ahead, and to feel grateful for what's within. Reflection gives you wisdom, Visualization gives you direction. Together, they give you meaning. The 4 a.m. mindset is about more than productivity. It's about peace, clarity, and conscious living. And when you learn to begin each day by asking, what am I becoming? Instead of, what must I do? You realize that the true goal of life is not to fill your days with work, but to fill your work with life. So sit each morning with yourself, reflect deeply, visualize boldly, feel your intentions as real, and walk into your day as if your dreams are already unfolding. Because when your mind meets your purpose, in those quiet hours before dawn, even the smallest action becomes sacred, and even the simplest morning becomes the beginning of something extraordinary.